Taurus, there are indeed some fairly significant transits for you this month, March 2018. I'm Dadhichi, for those of you that don't know me, from astrology.com.au, and this here is the map of the transits for your sun sign, which is here, Taurus. What you see here immediately is this very large triangular pattern from Mars and the North Node to Uranus here. These are spiritual houses, but they can be problematic houses, especially here with Mars, relating to your marriage and business partnerships, being in the 8th house of shared resources. And here we see the, if we animate this, the transit of the moon on the 1st itself, into the 5th house of love affairs, children and speculation. But the fact that this is a full moon in this 5th house, and you've got all of this spiritual energy, sexual energy, this is also financial. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of departments of your life that are going to be activated by this full moon. And you're balancing that against this strong combination of 4 planets in your 11th house of social activities. This is where your ruling planet is, pardon me, right now. It continues there up until the 7th. So you're dealing with your social issues, issues of children. And I think this is, rather than singling out all these different areas in your life, I think this has more to do with your creative ability to manage all of those things. We see here the transit on the 7th of your rule of Venus into this 12th house. These transits of the moon into the 6th, which is health, that could be as a result of not creatively handling the problems in your life at this time. We see also here the combination of Mercury debilitated. This is always a problem for you in terms of, you know, the way you communicate. A lot of Taurians don't communicate their feelings, but while Mercury, the planet of communication, and your 2nd house, which has to do with speech, here debilitated in the zone of friendships, means there's stuff you've got to get off your chest, but you're not, and that could impact on your health. Look here, relationships around the 7th, on the same day that Venus moves into that important 12th house position with Mercury, that there are some connotations here for your relationships and your communication, but also here a desire to pull back. You may not actually get the result that you want, even though we see on this particular date some fairly innocuous, if not favourable aspects to you. But your ruling planet here, located in this 12th house, is a low-key period and shows us, along with the communications planet, that though the opportunity is there for you, you may not actually avail yourself of that. That has to do with business and financial negotiations as well. And take a look at this combination around the 10th, the moon and Mars in your 8th house of shared financial resources, money, banking, etc. In a heated debate with Mars, there the 12th house, Venus and Mercury in the house of expenses, losses. Here you may be worried about finances and may be doing something about that. Could be a bit of a down period when the moon transits the 9th house, here in the company of Saturn and Pluto. 9th house is legal matters, it's bureaucracy, it's red tape, it's all that shit that you hate, right? So you have to be in a position to manage this, and I think you're going to do it from behind the scenes, from what I can see here, with your ruler maintaining its position there in the 12th house up until, would you believe, the 31st. So it's actually there all month. So technically we say that yeah, there are going to be 2 important changes in March, but most importantly this move to the 12th house, and then on the very last day, which we're not there yet, we're still around the 16th, some confusing patterns here with the moon moving into this conjunction with nebulous Neptune, as I call it, there around the 16th. And then the new moon on the 17th is particularly significant as well, in that it occurs in this 11th house of friendships, networking. It's also got to do with your life ideals and what it is you expect out of life. And there's some challenging aspects here from Mars as well. So you can expect some friction, disagreement, bit of heat, and also a turning over of a new leaf. And that's often the case when we see the new moon. In whichever area that's occurring, you're going to see some radical shift. That shift is good, shown by the transiting Jupiter trine here, but you do have the Mars and Saturn. That's a bit frustrating, to say the least. The shift of these planets to your 12th house, not just your ruler, but also Venus, but also Mercury. And then around the 21st, 22nd, the shift of the Sun into this same 12th house, accentuating all of this spiritual energy. Me, downtime, that is what you need when this is happening. Mind you, sometimes this has to do with journeying or travels as well. In any case, it's a point where you want to retire, you want to pull back and just, you know, take the pressure off, turn the heat down while this is happening. In any case, it's a very good time to do your yoga, your meditation. You've got this 9th house of spirituality activated, and here you have, especially in the last 7 days of the month, this powerful spiritual conjunction. Anything and everything can happen under this because of the containment of these planets by Uranus and Neptune here. You see on the 27th, but actually building up before that, this rather erratic relationship combo. So be careful with, you know, jumping in and out of relationships. Health matters are also called into question here. 12th house is hospitals. That downtime, I feel, for you is more to do with your mental and spiritual self. So take some time to be alone if you have to. Don't react too strongly to this combined influence. Things are going to be in a bit of a low key for the month of March. Look at astrology.com.au. Please subscribe. Go and have a look at what we've got there. More detail on the month of March. Everyday detail. Yesterday, today and tomorrow. That's part of the site. And also the contextual framework of what the year is going to bring you. And I think that's important. But till next month, take care and thanks for joining me again. Bye.